Thing I've always said when it comes to me is to never insult my intelligence. That is a surefire way to make me feel some type of way. And this event that is coming up, well, I'm recording this ahead of this happening, but by the time y'all see the video, the event will already occurred. So there's this event that's coming up that's being hosted by Trump's campaign down in Georgia, and I'm looking at the details of it, and it's more of the same. So I came across this post on X by this person named Greg Bluestein. Never heard of him before, but his bio says that he is attached to NBC News, MSNBC, and other different things. And he wrote this post up here that has some attachments to it, and we're going to go over those attachments as well, and it's going to show to you why our intelligence is being insulted again. It says former President Donald Trump's campaign will hold a quote-unquote Black American business leaders barbershop roundtable. Already, there's a red flag right there already, but I'll get into that in a second. In Atlanta tomorrow, on the eve of the CNN debate, which of course, this will be hosted on Wednesday, June 26, 2024. Of course, again, by the time y'all see this, it will have already happened. It will feature Representatives Byron Donalds, red flag, and Wesley Hunt, another red flag, and former presidential candidate Ben Carson. I mean, that's just a field of red flags right there. Now, I've already talked about Byron Donalds several times already, so y'all already know about him. Y'all already know about Ben Carson. But Wesley Hunt, he's literally, in my opinion, like a clone of Byron Donalds. Like, whenever you hear Byron Donalds, you hear Wesley Hunt. Or whenever you hear Wesley Hunt, you hear Byron Donalds. And some of you probably are familiar with him, but if you aren't, I just gave you a small summary overview of who he is. So they're saying they're gonna have a barbershop roundtable, and I'm sitting here saying to myself, oh my God, so now we're at another location where they like to say a lot of black men hang out at. Now, if y'all remember, didn't Stacey Abrams kind of do sort of the same thing a couple years ago when she was running? And how did that work out for her? Now, here's the crazy part. 45 just literally in this year alone went to 3 places where they figured we can go and get a lot of black people. Remember, he went to Chick-fil-A a couple of months ago, and he had that actress going crazy and leaping and hugging in him and everything like that, saying my mama's gonna be so happy because I met Trump. Remember her? Which, by the way, whatever happened to her? Now, she literally had her 15 minutes of fame, and you ain't seen her since. Then, of course, you know he recently went to a quote-unquote black church where it was like 10% black people there, and then the other 90% were white. I don't know what the turnout for this event is going to be, but I think it's very interesting that, again, the places they like to go to is a chicken spot, a black church, and a barbershop. Why can't they ever hold events like this in a more professional setting when it comes to black people, as if we are anchored to places like that? That alone should be an insult to black people everywhere, no matter what side of the political spectrum you are on. But some people don't think that far ahead. That is an insult in and of itself. But now that I've gotten through the post itself, let's go and look at the attachments as far as the details for this event is going to be. Okay, so here is the first, I guess you can say, slide. It says Trump campaign set to host Black American business leaders at Barbershop Roundtable in Atlanta, Georgia. And how ironic they go to Atlanta, Georgia, because, you know, they figure, oh, let's go to where most of the black people are at. It's like they'll go to where the black people are at, but they don't go and talk to grassroots black people. They talk to people who I like to say are more installed, if that makes sense. The Trump campaign is set to host a Black American Business Leaders Barbershop Roundtable in Atlanta, Georgia on Wednesday, June 26, 2024 at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The discussion will include President Trump's new no tax on tips policy, where our great hospitality workers will no longer be taxed on their hard-earned tips and keep more money in their pockets. Joe Biden's failed economy has left black Americans behind, burdened with higher prices and lower wages. Bidenflation is disproportionately hurting black households as black Americans bear the brunt of higher prices. Thanks to Joe Biden's pro-criminal and weak open border policies that harm black communities at a much higher rate than others, black communities are less safe. Drug overdoses from fentanyl pouring into black neighborhoods. It's funny they bring up drug overdoses and fentanyl with black people, but they have not really tackled what was going on with fentanyl in them white communities for the last how many years? If y'all don't remember, when I started to really get into the YouTube thing back in 2016, those topics was what really ignited my channel, my original channel. Was talking about those fentanyl overdoses and how PC had become the face of drug overdoses. Notice that's kind of fizzled out in the last couple of years. I think it's like ever since the pandemic, you really didn't hear too much about it anymore. But now they're saying it's like they were waiting for numbers to get relatively up there for black people to start bringing it up as a talking point. They not slicking. By the way, when 45 was in office, let's not forget, white people in those communities who was affected by it was trying to get them to make this like a national emergency crisis thing, and he ignored it. He said, no, we're not going to do that because that means they would have to spend more money on it, as if they weren't already on them safe injection sites. So there is that right there. So this is their mission statement right here. And if you notice, what's not there is what we've been talking about, which is reparations and tangibles, an anti-black hate crime bill, and ending qualified immunity, which we know ain't gonna happen because 45 said in Wisconsin a couple of months ago what he felt about qualified immunity. So the next slide says President Donald J. Trump. It's killing me, that they keep calling 45 President Donald J. Trump when he doesn't even have the president title anymore at the moment. Like, that's crazy. Like, I'll always be weary of events that literally label this man as president even though he's not president anymore. I'm not a fan of Joe Biden either, but Donald Trump doesn't hold the title of president anymore as of right now. Now, if he gets reelected, then you can call him that. I don't believe in giving people titles that, one, they haven't earned, or two, they no longer hold. And right now, he currently doesn't hold it. So again, whenever I see events where they say, oh, President Donald J. Trump somewhere, I automatically give it a side eye, and usually for good reason, because it usually turns out to be one of those type of events. Whether it is mainly PC or something that's masked in disguise to make it seem like it's for us. But let's continue. It says President Donald J. Trump took action to improve the lives of black Americans by making investments in programs like Opportunity Zones that led to $75 billion in new private investment into distressed communities and prioritize support for historically black colleges and universities. My thing is this: when they keep bringing up that part about HBCUs, they keep making it seem like 45 is the only person who's ever done it. And it's like, no, many presidents before him, and I'm sure after him, are going to do the same exact thing. No matter how little or how large they make that investment. That's not something brand new, but they make it seem like he's the only president to ever do it. It says President Trump will ease the financial pressures placed on black American households, reestablish law and order, and make America great again. This is an event for so-called black businesses at a black barbershop, and it reads like one of his rallies, which I wouldn't be surprised if this turned out to be what it is, because now you got to think, whenever 45 goes, it's not going to be mainly black people there unless they're paid to be there again, much like what happened with that Chick-fil-A back in April, I believe it was, when that happened. This will be no different. It will be no different. And PC will travel to wherever he's at, because guess what? While Atlanta has a huge black population, it ain't only black people there. And I'm sure some white people that would be willing to travel far and wide in order to get there. They've done it before, they'll do it again. After all, look at how many came out to the South Bronx. Speaking of, that was another event. Him going to the South Bronx and him bringing up not one but two rappers who have heavy indictments and charges to their names. So yeah, again, Like, make it make sense. It goes on to say the Trump campaign Black American Business Leaders Roundtable includes, and now they're listing off the participants. Congressman Byron Donalds as the moderator, of course, you know, he's always going to make sure he's at the top of every tap dancing list he can possibly be on. Congressman Wesley Hunt, Dr. Ben Carson, Shelley Winter, Atlanta talk show radio host. And I didn't know who this Shelley Winter person was. I still don't know who it is. But I noticed that when I was looking at the comments under this particular post, a lot of people were clowning this event, except this Shelley Winter person. They were the only one that seemed to be excited about it. And I wonder, saying to myself, why is the Shelley Winter so excited? And then when I see they're on this list of participants, I said, oh, it's because they were invited. No wonder they're so quote unquote excited. And this is Latron Price, owner, refrigerated warehouse at Community Westside Market, Eric Geralt, commercial and residential real estate property owner, Mark K.D. Boyd, founder of HEY, which stands for Helping Empower Youth, Daniel Ray, co-owner of Ray's Southern Foods, and Mike Glover, owner of Nancy's Grits and Eggs. Man, I'm telling you, the jokes are just practically writing themselves. I need to know from my people down in Atlanta, even though I'll probably find out maybe possibly before this video even gets uploaded, how did this event turn out? What did it look like as far as the atmospheres goes? Like, what was the demographic? Did it look like when he was at that black church? I just need to know. And this last slide is just basically the little information as far as date and time, where it's going to be hosted at, and the timeline of the actual events. And that's pretty much it. So nothing really important coming from this page except for just location, date and time, and the itinerary. So that's pretty much it. Like, it pretty much ended off with the last one. Listen, y'all can allow yourselves to be hoodwinked and bamboozled and led astray with this all you want to, but I see it for exactly what it is. And like I said, the crazy part about it is, or the interesting part is, under the post, people was clowning this. A lot of black people got wind of this and was like, what is this? I saw people say, oh, this is so unserious. You know, what is this? What is really going on? The only two people I saw that was backing this up was that Shelley Winters person I just mentioned, and this other PC man who looked like they were trolling people just for saying that they were against this event. Well, not so much against it, because it's like, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, but people who could see the writing on the wall or see the forest from the trees and weren't easily fooled or tricked by what's going on. Because the crazy part about this whole situation is, again, what the Democrats have been known to do and have been doing as it pertains to black people, with, you know, black voters, I should say, is the same exact thing that the well, I don't know if I can call this conservatives or Republicans, what MAGA is doing. Because like I said, MAGAville and conservative Republicans are two different lanes. Like, they've literally drawn a line in the sand as far as I'm concerned, and you can see the difference. They're no different. I guess the saying is true. If you can't beat them, join them. Because that's exactly what they're doing right now. This is literally nothing but pandering. And both sides are doing it. It's like they're flipping, because, you know, the Democrats have been known to do that. Now you got the Democrats complaining about, why are we losing so many black supporters, while at the same time saying how high black support is up. Then on the other side, with MAGA, or conservatives and Republicans, whatever name they're choosing to go by this time, whatever alias they're choosing to wear, you have them saying they need more black people there, but then you don't want black people there, or when you put certain black people there, they're your Byron Donalds and your Wesley Hunts and your Ben Carsons. It's no surprise that those three names really stuck out as far as quote unquote professional black people. And we've heard all of their talking points. Like I said, Wesley Hunt is literally like a clone of Byron Donalds. Whatever Byron Donalds says, you're going to have Wesley Hunt. They'd be like a parrot and agree and echo everything he says. Even down to his partner choices, because Wesley Hunt too is married to a PC woman, just like Byron Donalds. So again, this is why I'm a registered independent. I have no dog in this fight. They have shown over the last couple of years what they are on, and it is not on our timetable. So why should we be on theirs?
But since this has happened, like the mugshot is the best. It just beat Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra by a lot, by the way. Beat him by a lot. But that's the number one mugshot of all time. It's really an amazing thing. Since it happened, the support among the black community and the Hispanic community has skyrocketed. It's been amazing. Really been amazing. It's been actually very nice to see.
Mr. President,
you know, it's in one way you say, gee, isn't that too bad? But the truth is, it's really a lovely thing when I see that. We have great support now in the black community and in the Hispanic community.
Yes.
That what you just heard or what you just saw was a clip from that so-called meeting with Trump, quote unquote. And I have a couple of things I need to address just in that alone. At first I thought it was going to be one thing, but there's actually I think three things I need to address. The first one, I'll start off light. One, I could have sworn that 45 was supposed to be visiting this barbershop to have this discussion with black men or something like that. He's talking to them through a phone like his name is Charlie and those are his little angels. At least when Stacey Abrams did what she did, she was actually there. Now, like I said, this is not me stumping for her in any capacity, but at least she made her presence be known. This guy he wasn't even present. He was talking to them through the phone, and I think it was through Byron Donald's phone because I realized he's holding a device in his hand, so I'm thinking he's talking to him maybe through a speaker or something like that. So Trump didn't even have the audacity to even show up to this little whatever this thing was supposed to be. Number two, he brought back up the mugshot, saying that my support from black people has skyrocketed, so much because of the mugshot that I took, as if, again, and I've addressed this already, that as if we somehow are all inherently criminals. It's like, do y'all not pick up what this man is throwing down? It's so blatantly obvious how anti-black this dude actually is. But people don't want to see it for whatever reasons it is. Now, point three can actually coincide with two. Notice that he did the black and brown thing. He said, my support has gone up immensely from black Americans and Hispanics, or blacks and Hispanics. He did it both times. He didn't just talk about or say black people. He said blacks and Hispanics. So understand this, y'all. The other side does the black and brown thing too. They both do. He wasn't just addressing black people. Honestly, with this thing, black people shouldn't have been addressed in the first damn place. But he made sure to do the black and brown thing with saying, oh, the support from me has gone up on those sides because of the mugshot. So now he's saying, again, what do I tell you? They love to lump do the black and brown thing for their own nefarious reasons. And one of them is whenever they can do something to talk about criminality, that's when they love to do it the most. And then this is the bonus point right here. You had all these black men sitting right up here and not one of them checked him on what he said. And he knew he wasn't going to get checked. They just sitting up there in their little half a circle, just chuckling it up, thinking that he said something so profound. Now, for those of y'all who don't know who Wesley Hunt is, based on the screenshot that I have, he's the one that's sitting on the far left in the image. He's the one with the blue suit with the red tie on. It's like a red striped tie. That's Wesley Hunt. That's the one I was talking about in the first part of the video. We all know Byron Donalds is. Byron Donalds, of course, would be the one to hold the phone that has Trump on the other end of it because, he has to be the special Negro. Then you had the one on the far end that was Ben Carson, who can barely look like he can keep his eyes open, up there sitting looking like lamb chop in the eyes. But that's literally what this actually played out actually worse than I thought it would. Let me run down my points again. One, Trump wasn't there. He spoke through a phone. He brought up the mugshot again. We already talked about that. And then he did the black and brown thing. If y'all still support this man, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. I mean, all the evidence is right there. But like I said, November 5th is on the way. We got like, what, 100 and something days left into this election. This is going to be hilarious. I'm going to be sitting back with my popcorn in hand on my couch, laughing my ass off at the shenanigans, because I'm laughing right now already. All you can really do is laugh at this. This is playing itself out as nothing more than a bad joke. That's really all this is, and all it will ever be. I cannot bring myself to even get mad at this anymore. Honestly, I haven't been mad at it in a long time, because I pretty much at this point now know what to expect. And if this is supposed to be a roundtable discussion, where the hell is the damn roundtable? I'm trying to figure that out. They just sitting in a semicircle. No table at all, not even a desk. Not even one of them little tables that you sit, like that you have when you at home and you put your dinner on. Again, this played out just like the court jester ring event that I knew it would be. But it played out to be even worse than I had imagined.
The owner of Rocky's Barbershop in Atlanta says he feels he was misled by a campaign event for former President Trump the day before the debate. Rocky Jones tells our Karis Belger he thought his Buckhead shop was just hosting a forum for black businesses, but he says he never expected to fade into the realm of politics.
To me, cutting hair is like an art.
And smooth waves are not the only thing Rocky Jones wants his shop to be known for.
We try to specialize in just giving good service to the community. As you can see, I've been here since 17 years and it's been good.
Which is why he jumped at the chance to help other black business owners get ahead.
Started with a text, then it went to a call, because I was actually out the country. And just me agreeing to do a black small business, round table. I thought it was like something real private.
It was anything but. Rocky, along with black business owners from across metro Atlanta, crammed into his shop, along with Trump surrogates like Ben Carson. But it wasn't all shop talk.
Thinking about black business in Atlanta, small black businesses in Atlanta. And I'm like, okay, so when are we going to start talking about this?
He says a call from former President Trump during the event cut deep.
Why is the ex-president calling somebody in my barbershop? This has nothing to do with small black businesses.
And he was left with a lot more than razor burn.
We had some calls. Thursday, we definitely got some calls, some backlash, some angry people that don't know me. And I have to deal with that. I have no involvement in politics. We don't even talk politics in my barbershop. It's all sports. Commend everybody to vote, but that's your business. I don't tell you what to do.
The number of customers, he says, has trimmed down, but he hopes the shock will fade and he can keep helping his community. Karis Belger, 11 Alive News.
Now, we repeatedly reached out to several representatives for the Trump campaign today about the claims that he just made. They have not responded at this time to our phone calls or email.
There's a thing called when there is smoke, there is indeed fire. This saga right here just keeps getting better and better and better. This is why sometimes when I upload videos, there might be a thing where you might not get them as soon as something happens, because there might be something right around the corner. And this is an instance of that time. So you have this barbershop owner where this event, if you want to even call it that, was hosted at, that has now come out and said he was blindsided by what he thought this was supposed to be. He's thinking that this was supposed to be an event that was supposed to help small black business owners, like at least that's what he thought it was for, but then it turned out to be something else. So to people like Byron Donalds, Wesley Hunt, and Ben Carson, who had ulterior motives up there, they are full of shit. They are full of it, because this guy, seemingly claims that he didn't know that what this was for. Now, of course, there are some people online now that are saying, oh, he definitely knew. It's just that he didn't expect the backlash, and furthermore, he didn't expect business to start dwindling, because he said he ended up losing clients probably loyal clients that have been coming in for years. He said he's been in that spot for 17 years, almost 20 years, and he's losing clientele because of this. Now, in one picture that you see, it says "Blacks for Trump" hovering up there. Now, as you know, that's on a monitor. That's not like a sign that was printed out and pasted up there. So for all we know, that probably wasn't even there. And then when they put it up there, it was after everything was all said and done. So he was already locked in. But the thing is, a lot of people were saying, well, he could have easily just stopped and said, oh, don't put that up there, or whatever the case may be. At this point, it's really kind of hard to gauge which way to go with this. But the fact of the matter is that he came out and he said this, and there are going to be people that are going to either believe what he's saying, or there are going to be people that don't believe what he's saying. There's really no in between here. But what really is the thing is, if you looked at the video and paid attention, he was sitting next to Ben Carson, and Byron Donalds had hovered the phone over to Ben Carson to talk to Trump. And if you look at the Barbershop's owner face, he looked very uncomfortable. At that point, he was like, okay, this is not what I signed up for. I feel like I've been duped. I've been swindled. I thought it was for this, but it turned out to be a political event. And that, if that is indeed true, if he was indeed misled like he claims, that is extremely messed up. For them to use this as an opportunity to push a political agenda when he didn't want that there. He even said in the video that they don't even talk politics in the barbershop. They even had a sign up that says no profanity in the barbershop. And we all know that when you get deep into politics, that's one of the things where profanity will fly, depending on how passionate certain people are when it comes to this political cycle, especially this one. Because tensions are high, emotions are flaring, or tensions are flaring and emotions are high, however it goes. But yeah, this is right up their alley. This is right up their alley. And I think what makes this even more sad is that they use this as a political event or a political agenda push under the disguise of we're going to help support small black businesses. Again, how are they any different than the Democrats? That's something I'd expect them to do. Now, with this coming out, the Democrats are going to use that to their advantage and saying, oh, look what they did. No, don't say look what they did, look what you both did, because y'all are both capable of doing this. That's why I say left wing, right wing, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican, two wings attached to the same goddamn buzzard. They both do the same thing. Now, who's worse than the other? That depends on who you're asking. But this right here was a bad look. If anybody who was black, well, you know what? I don't even know why I'm asking that question, because a lot of them happen to be shills and buck dances their damn self. So if I even ask that would be a rhetorical question on my part. I would be wasting my breath even asking that question. So I'm going to refrain. Either way, as it goes down, this was messed up. This guy, he genuinely he sounds like he's telling the truth. Again, some people are not going to believe him. There's going to be some people that are. But after what happened on that debate stage, especially when Trump made that comment about black jobs, people are going to look at this like, and then they're going to say, well, I'm not surprised. Well, one thing I will say to this black barbershop, the owner of this barbershop, is be careful of who you do business with, because even if you were blindsided, the fact that you had Wesley Hunt, Byron Donalds, and Ben Carson there, of all people, three men who would never set foot in your barbershop ever, it would have been a red flag for me. I can't say whether or not he was too familiar with any of these men, probably with the exception of Ben Carson before that day, and he thought they had good intentions. But that's why you have to go to the grassroots level. If you are listening to the grassroots, you would know who these guys are. The minute I would have saw them, if I was in his shoes, I would have been like, first off, it wouldn't even have gotten that far. You would have been hosting no event. I would have said, okay, you want to host this here? Who's the one who's hosting? The minute I saw Byron Donalds, because if y'all remember towards the beginning of the video, it shows you who's who and who's going to be there and what each person is going to be doing. The minute I saw Byron Donalds' name, I would have been like, hell no. Because I already know what he's there for. Then I keep rolling down the list and I keep scrolling down the list and I see Wesley Hunt and Ben Carson. Nope. three red flags already. You're not coming to my shop. You're not coming into my business to promote whatever it is that you're trying to promote under the guise of, oh, we're going to be supporting and small black businesses, but on the back end what you're really doing is let's try to get as many black people we can to vote for Trump, which is what this was. That's all this was, and they had to use this man's business in order to do it. And what ended up happening, he ended up losing clientele. Is Byron Donalds and Wesley Hunt and Ben Carson, or better yet, Donald Trump, going to tell them, no, come back? Are they going to apologize for what they did? Most likely not. I'm telling you, straight up filth.